Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about the Nobel Prize for Peace 2020. So in the previous videos, we have also discussed about the Nobel Prize for Physics, Physiology and Chemistry. In this particular video, we will discuss about the Nobel Prize for Peace. Now, Nobel Prize is one of the most coveted prize which is given in different fields, and it honors the achievement or the progress made by different individual, or in case of the present prize which is awarded for peace for an organization. So this is the major criteria according to which Nobel Prize are awarded. You don't have to really remember or memorize who won which award, but their area of expertise, the field for which they have got the award, becomes very important. But in case of the Nobel Prize for Peace, the organization itself becomes very important. So this time the Nobel Prize for Peace is awarded to WFP. In the coming slides, we will discuss about WFP and what are its mandates. So let's begin. So the 2020 Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to World Food Programme, or what we will refer to as WFP, which is a United Nations agency for its effort to combat hunger, bettering conditions for peace in conflict affected areas, and preventing the use of hunger as a weapon of war and conflict. Now you have to remember that in a previously report which was shared by World Bank on poverty and shared prosperity, we have already made a video on that poverty and shared prosperity report, which is released by World Bank. In that also the World Bank highlighted that conflict is one of the reason which increase the poverty. So the conflicted area, like for an example, your Middle East, the area near Israel, that whole area of Lebanon, Yemen, Syria, all these war-torn area also suffer from extreme level of hunger and poverty. So there is a huge correlation between conflict and the number of people remaining hungry as well as the poverty level. So because of it, this year the Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to WFP, which has made a remarkable contribution to combat hunger in such areas. So that is the background. Also, for you to remember is that it is a UN agency. Remember that it is a UN agency and not an intergovernmental body. It is a UN agency. Let's move forward and try to understand more about the World Foods Program. So it was established in 1961. So this is the year which it was established. UN was established in 1945 after the aftermath of World War II, and almost after 15 years the World Food Program was set up in 1951 by whom? By Food and Agriculture Organization and the United General Assembly. So these are the two organizations which came up together and formed the World Food Program. It became the full-fledged UN program in 1965. It was established in 1961, then later 4 years it became a full-fledged program under the UN, the WFP. WFP right now is a full-fledged program of UN. Where it is headquartered, its headquarters is located in Rome, Italy. Remember that. So these are the few basic details you need to know about World Food Program, that it was established in 1961. The organization which helped in its establishment are FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, along with UN General Assembly, and that its headquarters is located in Italy. So these are the few things that you need to remember. Now let's move forward and see what kind of impact or significance this particular organization has. So eradicating hunger is one of UN Sustainable Development Goal. So basically, if you remember, SDG 2 is zero hunger, which is you can see how important or what is the priority given to the goals in terms of hunger. So 2 itself, the SDG goal 2 itself is zero hunger. So eradicating hunger is the one of the major goal under the UN Sustainable Development Program, and it is to be achieved by 2030. So if you remember, now we only have 10 years to go and we have to achieve zero hunger. So in that regard, it is the WFP, which is the UN's primary agency that work towards this goal. So what is the agency? which has been like particularly assigned with the task to work on the SDG goal number 2. It is your WFP. Currently, it is world's largest humanitarian agency combating hunger. So, if you know that it is actually the largest agency as of today, which is working towards combating hunger at a global level. In 2019, it assisted 97 million people. So just remember, approximately 100 million people were assisted by it, the largest number since 2012 in 88 countries. The same year, it delivered 4.4 million tons of food, purchased $1.7 billion worth of food from 91 countries, and $762 million worth of goods or services from 156 countries. Now this data is not very important. You don't have to remember the whole data, but approximately you have to, like when you are writing your mains answer, it becomes important that you put some data and put more emphasis. How will you define that actually WFP is working towards a greater goal, or it has been like really significant in combating hunger? Then you have to provide some data that it provided food for approximately 100 million people. Then it takes like purchase food from approximately 91 countries. Such kind of data you could actually remember. On for your if you could remember all the details, it will be like really good. But even such small details would make a huge impact when you are writing your answer. According to the WFP, there are 690 million people hungry around the world. Just look at the number. 690 million people are hungry according to a report by WFP. And around 60% of them live in countries affected by conflict. Now, this is something like if you have been using Facebook or like even Instagram, you will see there are a lot of kind of advertisement you will get to feed the hungry in Yemen and Syria. So you can see the condition that small child will be like left in the war-torn area without any food, and the hunger is rising. So this particular World Food Program actually realized it or analyzed the data, and they figured out that 60% of the hungry people of the world lived in the conflicted areas. It highlights that people living in countries with long-running crises are more than twice likely to be undernourished than people elsewhere, which is like almost 2.5 times they are going to be undernourished. So like they're for 2.5 times they're getting accessibility to less food as compared to the people elsewhere. So these are the few things which WFP works on, and it signifies how important as an organization it has been. Now let's also try to understand what's its role in India has been. So it has been working with India since 1963. So if you remember, just after independence, we were also suffering from food shortage. So before the Green Revolution kicked in, we were also under the food shortage. If you remember, the second Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, he gave the famous slogan of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. So basically, because at that time India was facing from the dual problem of border security in terms of how Pakistan was aggressive, as well as the food shortage, and hence he gave the title of Jai Jawan Jai Kisan. So that is what the condition of India way back after independence. So World Food Program, which is established in 1961, started working with India way back in 1963 itself. It focuses on reform in targeting public distribution system and provides policy input, advocacy and technical assistance for improving access to food. So basically this is something which this particular organization focuses on in India. It is your PDS system. So we have the ration shops where the people with the ration card could get the subsidized food. So such kind of targeted PDS system, the kind of reforms that would be needed, all these things would be suggested by the World Food Program, or that is one of the field where it works. WFP has proposed unique initiative like automatic grain dispensing machine or Annapurti mobile storage units for effective implementation of targeted public distribution system. Now what is Annapurti? Basically it allows the beneficiaries to withdraw their food grains quota accurately and at time of their choice through automatic grain dispensing machine. So just consider it as like if you have been in a corporate office or somewhere, you must have seen that the dispensing machine where you could just put a coin and your drinks will come up, or in a movies or somewhere you would have seen that. Now, similar kind of thing is there in Annapurti where you can get the grains allocated to you by like feeding maybe your number, your Aadhaar number or something like that. The details would be like chalked out, but the idea is that you should be able to get the grain at your disposal instead of like queuing in front of a ration shop. You get it at your disposal. So that is one of the reform which was suggested by the WFP for India's TPDS. WFP India has completed a pilot on rice fortification used in the government's midday meals. So basically rice fortification, in order to make it more nutritious, they have also completed a pilot to kind of fortify the rice food which was provided as a part of midday meals. So midday meal scheme is a scheme in which the students were provided with food while attending the school, and it is under integrated child development scheme. It is part of that. Now, during the pandemic, WFP India worked with the central and state government and has also prepared a guidance note for the reopening of schools. So now you just see WFP India is also closely associated with the policy decision, and it does help the government or the policy maker to come up with a policy like what kind of measures to be taken when you are reopening the school, as well as during the pandemic when there was food shortage, migrant worker crisis. All this was there. It was helping the India to come up with plans so that the people are not hungry. So this is its contribution in terms of how it is helping the India to feed every poor. So that is one thing you need to know. So from an overall perspective, there is like from prelims perspective, you should know about WFP as an organization, what kind of organization is it is, when it was formed, what are its mandate, where it is headquartered. Then from mains perspective, you need to deep dive, consider its significance, its role in India, and so on. So this is the major thing that you need to pick up from this video. So I hope you have liked this. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.